A girl standing at the edge of a cliff throws a stone at 15 meters per second at an angle of 45 degrees to the horizontal and 25 meters above the sea. Draw a diagram at the highest point reached by the stone. Draw arrows to represent the acceleration of the stone, the velocity of the stone. Determine the speed which the stone hits the sea. So, here, there we go. So they tell us that it's above the sea level here. (25 meters) and 15 meters per second. So they ask us at the highest point, so here they already drawn it, what would be its velocity and its acceleration. So its velocity would be just a straight vertical line, because at the top it doesn't have any vertical velocity, around this much, and the velocity, and the acceleration would be the acceleration of gravity, which would be downward, and again this, since they said acceleration. So this would be the diagram, and then they ask us to determine the speed which the stone hits the sea. So here, what we have to do is first is at the beginning of the throw figure out its vertical velocity. So here we have this triangle, and the first thing that they tell us, this is 15, and we gotta 15, and we gotta figure out what this is. And this, like in the last video, we also have a very special triangle. If you remember from the last video, the other one was a 30, 60, 90, and this one is a 45, 45, 90. And the special property that this one has is that this side is x, this side is x, and this side is x square root of 2. So this side here is gonna be exactly this side times square root of 2. So 45 degrees. Again, if it's like a square, that's 90, and another 45. So now what we have to do is figure out our x, or our side, and to do that we will just divide square root of 2, because we said it's the same thing as multiplying times square root of 2. So the first thing we want to do is do the square root of 2, and then put 15 and divide it by this, and that'll give us 10.60660171779821. So this is our vertical velocity, so I'm going to round it up. Oops. And now then we have what our vertical velocity, which is the same thing as our horizontal velocity, because we said that they'll both be the same, they're both x. Now what we would do is figure out in this time how high it goes. So with this velocity here, how high it goes. And now what we should do is use this formula, which is v squared equals u squared plus 2as. So v is final velocity, u is initial velocity, 2as is 2 times acceleration times distance. So here what we will do is, well, we just solve for it. And so v squared equals 10.61 squared, which is let's just put in the computer. 10.61 oops 0.61 times 112.5721. So let's just round that up. So then v squared equals 112.57 plus, well, it would be 10 times 25, which is 250, times 2, which is 500. So now we would add them up. So v squared equals 612.57. And now if we want to take this square out, what we do, 57, not 52. What we do is put the square root here. So we do the square root of 612.57. So let me just 612.57 equals 24.75, whatever, and let's round it up to 2 decimals. So it gives us 24.75 meters per second. So that would be our answer. Next one. A boy standing at the edge of a different cliff throws a stone vertically upwards. It leaves his hand with a speed of 8 meters per second, and it hits the sea 3 seconds later. What is the maximum height reached by the stone? How long did the stone take to reach its maximum height? How high is the cliff? So this tells us vertically upwards. So here, instead of like the other one being more like kind of horizontally, this one is more, it's vertical because they say it's thrown vertically. So here the first question to ask is what is the maximum height reached by the stone? So the maximum height reached by the stone we'll calculate by looking at its speeds and or times. So at 0 seconds, it'd be going at 8 meters per second. Oops. At 0.8 seconds, we'll be going at 0 meters per second. So we do the medium. 8 plus 0 is 8, divided by 2 is 4. And then we'll just do 4 times our time, which is 0.8. So medium, 8 plus 0 is 8, divided by 2, 4, and 4 times the time is 0.8, and that gives us 3.2. And well, it would be, you might think, oh, that's it, that's the first answer, 3.2 meters, but that's wrong, because we gotta add this height here, plus the height of the cliff to get our maximum height. Because this side would 3 meters, 0.2 would be this, and the maximum height would actually be all the way down here. That's why this is wrong, and we got to add it times the height of the cliff. So how long? So now we should do the other ones. How long did it take to reach its maximum height? Well, we just said right here. It's really easy, 0.8. That really we don't have to think anything. So that'll be 0.8 seconds. Next question is, how high is the cliff? So this will be really helpful because it'll help us get this height, and we can add it to 3.2 to get our first question. So how high is the cliff? Well, the way we would do this is a formula, which is S equals ut plus 1/2 a t squared. So now we just substitute s, it's what we're looking for, so that's good, equals ut is initial velocity, which one might think, well, how are we going to figure out initial velocity? Oh wait, it's 8. Well, actually they ask us for initial velocity not here, but initial velocity here. But since it's going up and down and there's nothing moving it or giving any extra motion, it'll also be 8. So it would be 8 times 1.4, because 1.4 is the 3 seconds they told us to go that it would take, minus 0. seconds we said that was to go up. So it has to go up and down. So 0.8 times 2 is it's 1.6. So 3 minus 1.6 equals 1.4. So what we'll do is which you just said is 8, times 1.4 plus 1/2 at squared, 1/2 a. Acceleration is 10, so that's 5 times 1.4 squared. So now I'm just going to introduce the whole thing to the computer. 8 times 1.4 plus 5 times 1 times 1.4 times 1.4 close parentheses, and this would equal us 21. So the height of the cliff would be 21 meters. So yeah, let's just put 21 meters. And so we just add this to 3.2 to get the height, the maximum height of 24.2 meters too, because it's also a distance. And so here we got the time to go up 8, the maximum height 24.2, and the height of the cliff, which is 21 meters. So that's all for today, and bye.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell.